Welcome, beautiful souls.
You are tuned in to Love Human, Be Spirit.
With us, I'm Amy, a 3-5 emotional manifester, right angle, cross of Eden.
And I'm Monique, a 1-4 splenic projector, right angle cross of the vessel of love.
And we'd love to invite you to join us while we talk all things human and spirit through the lens of human design.
We'd like to offer you inspiration, information, and lived experiences while we're on this human ride together.
So buckle up or don't, your choice. We're here to celebrate your uniqueness and our own and offer a perspective that allows us to lean into what makes us special, what makes us human.
So let's do it. Get ready to laugh, cry, and everything in between.
And we plan to have a lot of fun along the way.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Love Human, Be Spirit podcast. We are so excited to be here. We are so excited and grateful to have you listening and sharing this space with us. My name is Monique. I'm a 1-4 splenic projector. And this is Amy. I'll let her introduce herself in a moment.
Yes.
But we are excited to talk to you all about how we met today.
Yes, this is the first official episode where we get to share all the goodness of what brought this into reality and creation. And I'm Amy. I am a 3-5 emotional manifester, and we are ready to dig in and get this out into the world.
Yes. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We're super excited to be on this journey together and now with you all. And we're excited to share our experiences and information, and hopefully you gain some inspiration from all of that and some practical, applicable uses for some of it, and ways that this information can, we're hopeful that this information can land for you like it has for us and the many people that we've encountered and worked with now at this point, and really grow from it in a way that has been like nothing else for us in our experience so far.
100%. I think for both of us, listening to podcasters share their information and perspective has been such an integral part of our learning and growing. So it just felt very natural for us to bring this into the world. But
definitely.
Let me take a step back, though, because we got to tell how we met, right?
Right. We like to jump in the deep end. So how we met. So Amy and I met at a retreat, at a human design reader training retreat in Costa Rica. And it was just a couple months ago, although it feels like lifetimes.
Yes.
And we were very quickly drawn to each other's energy upon meeting. We were roomed together at this retreat, and Amy made quite an entrance into our little abode when she arrived. I got there first, and I was unpacking and settling in, and manifestor energy extraordinaire opened the door, and she was like, "I wonder why they paired us together. Hi." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, hi, I love you. What is happening right now? This is amazing." And we just really clicked. It's not a wonder why. There are a lot of commonalities in our design, and we have shared some similar life experiences. We're both mothers. We have been through some similar journeys on our path and some not similar journeys. And we really got to bond in a way that was deep and profound, I think, in the environment where we were allowed to meet in this lifetime, because I'm sure we've met in other lifetimes, right? And we just enjoyed each other's energy right away and started to talk about ourselves and the things we have done, things we are doing, the things we are planning to do. And a podcast was something that came up for both of us, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And when I did bust through the door, I was so stinking tired from traveling. And I'm not the only one. And it was, beautiful there. But there was just this warm energy as soon as I walked in. And I don't even, of course, I let myself say whatever the hell I wanted to say when I came in. And that's what I felt called to share, because I was very curious, because every ounce of me before I embarked on this trip wanted my own room. I'm a manifestor, right? I wanted my alone time. I wanted to be in control. I wanted to
Right.
protect all of those things. But what I really wanted more deeply than that was to make this intimate connection with another like-minded woman. And so in order to honor that, I had to set aside some of those, to be really honest, just some fears of just like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if all these things? And, I felt out of alignment. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad that I stuck to the fact that I really, really wanted to make this connection. And I could never have imagined that it's the connection that I did make, because it's like I said, as soon as I walked in, it felt very warm and very inviting. She was nesting her space, which was beautiful. She already had all her crystals out and her books, and that just warmed my heart. I felt instantly at peace. I felt so at peace, which by the way is my theme, my signature. And I laid down on my bed because I was so tired. That's not something I would normally do. And I just watched her as she continued to nest, and we just talked and talked and talked. And normally I would think that would be rude, or, whatever conditioning might have showed up for that. And I didn't feel any of that ever. And so as we got to know each other, I mean, literally, I don't think we ever stopped talking ever, except for when we were asleep. And then the first, we just started talking when we wake up, but it was just very clear that we were on a similar path, no matter what had happened before. Our trajectory going forward was very similar. And that felt incredibly kismet to me, which I was so aligned with. And by the third day, I think we started talking about the fact that we were both interested in a podcast. And then we both aligned to the fact that we kind of really knew we wanted a co-pilot for it, which is why we hadn't birthed into creation on our own. We'd done some of the backward due diligence, but we just hadn't brought it into existence. And for me to know immediately that, Monique was my ideal co-pilot felt so aligned. Even though I do have emotional authority, I did not feel like I had to sit. It just felt right. And so not even 2 months later, here we are, and we're recording episodes, and it feels delicious. And I couldn't be happier with the reality that came from it.
Me too. It was so good. As you were talking, I am remembering all these moments that we got to share. And it was so special where we got to meet. It really was just everything about it, the experience, the actual location of it, the energy of it that was already there, the nature. It was just a beautiful place to have met someone. So what is it? Because it was just so kismet, like you said. It was beautifully for me too. And prior to that retreat, the whole year prior to that, my focus was really on building a line tribe and people that felt good to me, that made me feel good and seen and honored and allowed to be my full self in front of, without any fear and hesitation. And like you said, my fear was, I think, revolving around just being somewhere for 11 days with another person, and how much of myself I would or wouldn't have to move or quiet or shift to accommodate that in a way that I've just been used to doing. I think a lot of my life, I think a lot of us are used to that. But I also, I was raised more like an only child. I didn't share a room, so to speak. I have had few roommates in my life. I didn't do college like that, right? Besides lovers or partners, I haven't, and now my daughter, I haven't really shared space with a grown up, like that. And it was nerve wracking for me, and not in this, like, I didn't realize fully how nervous I was about that, but there was an underlying level of anxiety. And the only reason that I realized that it was there is because I didn't get any of that from Amy. And when we met, it felt so natural for me to be me. And I felt like every ounce of that was being received and loved and held and supported. And it felt so good that I didn't even think about, any of those anxious, nervy things that, may have come up in another version of me or experience. And leading up into this point, I have met some beautiful, amazing people have come into my life and into my awareness. And now with you being the one that I get to create this podcast with, that we get to do this together in a way that just came together so beautifully and organically. And later, as we learned, super wild card, right? There was a lot of reasons why people were paired as roommates at this retreat. A lot of things were taking into consideration, being that it was a human design focused retreat, being there was age stuff taken into consideration, there was vaccine stuff, there was price points and room stuff. There was a lot of considerations being here where that had to be taken into account. And we later found out, Amy and I found out, that we were paired together as like the last two, like wild card, like fit, like we were almost like, and it was like, okay, this is either going to work out cool or it's not, I guess, or we'll just see what happens here. And man, the universe is awesome, because look at what happened here.
And honestly, even though we were, literally balls deep in human design learning, which was fantastic on a regular basis. And typically I would want to retract from all those, energy types and auras in my space and come back to a space that felt very sacred to replenish myself. I was actually disappointed if Monique wasn't in the room when I got back or something like that. Like I craved to be in her energy. And I can't remember what day it was when we found out that we did the connection chart, and we realized that when we came together, we created a manifesting generator. So as I'm a manifestor and she's a projector, which I also want to share. I was thrilled when she told me she was a projector, because I align beautifully. I love all energy types. We always get to say that. It's like, you're also not supposed to say you have a favorite kiddo. I get it. But there's something about my connection with projectors that is just so beautiful. And the fact that she's a splenic projector is also really, really just near and dear to my heart as well. So that felt very settling. But when we looked at our connection chart and we identified that not only were we freaking hilarious together, because I feel like we did a whole lot of laughing. I mean, literally my cheeks hurt, my stomach hurt, like in all the good ways. But we also felt super plugged in to one another and felt like we had more energy. I got way less sleep there than I ever get on my own. And I was fine with it. I felt refueled. It felt wonderful. So there were just lots of synchronicities that ended up occurring. And so props to, just the universe, the cosmos, the everything that there is out there for putting us together. There's always someone that knows more than we do, or some energy that knows. And I'm just so freaking grateful that it landed the way it did, because, the rest is history, right?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's the story of how we met. And we couldn't be more grateful. I don't think we couldn't be more excited for this next part of our journey together, for you guys to get to know us, for us to get to know you all, if you want to share what we've gotten to experience together and separately, to honor our own design while learning about ourselves and sharing that with each other and you, and to serve as reminders that we're all so connected. Everything that you feel is being felt by somebody else. Every piece of gratitude that you give is also being felt. I mean, these things are all connected in deep, deep ways. And we both feel that that's something to focus on for all of us. And if it is focused on, I believe it can really change the vibe of this whole planet. Everyone can vibrate higher if we choose to be intentional about honoring ourselves, our own energetic selves, and everyone else's, and stop expecting people to behave like we do, because we're all differently designed and perfectly designed at the same time. And Amy and I I believe, are a pretty cool example of that, because we are so differently designed. Our designs are quite different, right? But there are these amazing similarities and these beautiful connections that happen, which is, case in point. I mean, if you look at us, she's a 3-5. Amy is a 3-5 emotional manifester. I am a 1-4 splenic projector. We have different profiles. We have different authorities. We have different auric designs. And yet we click perfectly. We make a man gen with 8 defined centers, the channel of charisma, and all of these other badass things start sparking and flying out of us. And that, my friends, is what human design is about. That's what it's about, because we are both individually special humans on our own, and we have our strengths and our designs and our definition. And then we come together with another human who's equally as specially designed, and boom, another amazing, energetic dynamic is born. And that's what Love Human Be Spirit is going to be about. And we hope that you feel that with us, because we're going to express it with you
every time, every single episode, with full intention, with humor, with our truths, with our experiences, with our perspectives. And we will have the intention that we'll bring guests on when we feel called to. And while we also feel like we're also completely enough, I think there's a lot of not enoughness in the world. And so we're going to share and remind everyone that they are always enough, and that we do have this opportunity to connect with people that can even improve how we feel about ourselves. And that is exactly how I feel when I'm with Monique. I mean, I love that we have 8 of the 9 centers defined. And I even love a little more that the one center that we don't have defined is our head center, because that just allows us to be so open-minded, so open to experiencing other things and then bringing that into the world. And that's the perspective I choose on how to look at it. I love that we create a single definition so we feel very complete, because we bridge all of our splits, all the deliciousness that we will intend to share and hopefully will come through loud and clear with each and every episode. And that will be the intention that we hold, and would desire to have any and all feedback along the way for what you feel called to learn more about or dig into further, because we are here for it. We are ready for it. And we think it is beyond time to start sharing.
Yes. Yes. Feel like that was your channel of openness talking there. I loved it. And my channel of curiosity is wanting to know all the things. So please let us know if you have questions, comments, feedback, anything. We're open and curious and here for it. And we will talk to you on the next one. We can't wait to get into more stuff.
Yes, we are happy you're here with us on this energetic ride, and buckle up or not.
Yeah,
and
we're grateful either way. We're so grateful, really grateful to be here and to have this space to hold for all of our human design talk and other talk that is about to be born into the universe, because it's gonna be pretty badass. We know that, right?
Amen. Yes, it
all
will.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Until the next time.
Thanks okay, till then.
All right. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode.
We hope you found it inspiring and digestible.
If you like what you heard, it would mean a lot to us if you'd take a moment to follow us so you'll be notified when new episodes are released.
And if you're feeling really generous, please share and review our podcast, as long as it's a 5-star review. Otherwise, never mind. Maybe just keep that to yourself.
And lastly, if you're new to human design or just curious to learn more about your own, Amy and I both have offerings for that.
We also have an extensive human design community that we belong to. So if we don't feel like the right fit, we can certainly guide you to someone who is.